Hi, friends. Today, the focus is being called to be a healer. I know what that feels like, and I know that a lot of other people do too. And the issue is then, what do I do about it? So when I was in my mid-20s, I started getting this feeling like healer, healer. Wow, but I didn't even know what that might have looked like. And I knew a lot less back then than I do now. And I will say also it was before the internet. So it was harder to search things out, right? Now on our phones, we can just pop it in and see what comes up. But I started to get that feeling. And then I started thinking about the types of healers that I knew of, which weren't many. And no. I just didn't know what to do about it. And then something came and swooped in and started me on this path. And so now, and I've followed it this whole time, 25 years or so. And that feels really good. It feels good to follow one's path because it is guiding you. What a gift. And so a few things that come to my mind around being called to, quote, be a healer. And right now, I don't consider myself a healer in the way that, I heal you. It's more that I understand my own process of healing, and I've done a lot of it. My personal healing, things that feel like past life experiences that continue into this life healing, as well as ancestral healing. And so and now I work with a lot of people over the last 20 years, and they're all in various stages of that. Being called to be a healer, and first, though, being called to heal oneself. So my feeling is that one is effective at being a soul tender, a healing helper for anyone else to the degree that they have done their own personal and ancestral healing work. So that is important. You can't skip over that part and then just want to help other people. It doesn't work that way. One, because we have to know what people are going through. And two, because if we don't do our own personal work, then we keep tripping over that again and again and again, and it just doesn't work. So you can certainly look into methods, modalities, processes, paths, spirituality, the earth, helpful ways to help your heart heal, and any soul wounds, we all have them from living in this culture. Soul wounds that are working against you or actually hurting you. And so that's a lot of what I do. So of course, I have a number of things to offer, both live and pre-recorded. But there's lots of modalities, a lot of teachers, a lot of opportunities, lots of books to do your own healing work. And as you begin to try out different methods and language systems, meaning like all these modalities speak a bit in a different way. To some, it might be spirit guides. To some, it might be ancestral allies. To others, it might be angels. To the others, it might be higher self. Okay. Find something that works for you. And then as you get turned on or exposed to different types of healing methods, then you might start to find yourself, drawn to one of them or multiple. And most of us don't just do one modality. We learn a modality, learn something within ourselves, and then we start putting things together over time, right? So we have like a tool kit, a toolbox with a number of different tools. But then there's some people who they are a massage therapist. They are a Reiki master. They are a cranial sacral practitioner. They are a psychic reader. There's lots of different individual paths that people might feel solely drawn to, and that might be you. It might also not be you. It might be you that you do get Reiki attunements up until master level, or maybe not, and then you might be drawn to another type of modality. So here's another thing I want to say about modalities, which is that there are already formed modalities: massage, cranial sacral, Reiki, other kinds of healing work, like energy work. There's all kinds. But each of those were created by people at some point. And so you might hear or sense, as time goes on, ideas for how it works for you. That's kind of how I've done it a lot. I didn't apprentice or learn one specific modality. I get downloads and I follow them. So that's a whole other practice that you can work with, is listening to the voices in your head and the guidance that comes to you, and what is it guiding you to do, and then take note of that. And now when I run trainings for healing practitionership, my focus is what is already in you. What do your allies and your ancestors want from you? And I am there to help you discover that and then practice it. So one other thing about being called to be a healer: a number of us get a feeling in that direction before we are actually ready to do anything about it. And that's okay. Things take time. So even if you don't feel ready yet to step on the path of becoming a healing facilitator, do make room for your own healing. That is useful and helpful and accessible at any time. And it really doesn't take money, like big amounts of money, for the kind of therapy that, you know, we hear about, that's $100 an hour or something like that. There are many ways. And now there's so many groups and Facebook groups and groups of people everywhere online. And because of COVID, we're all online right now. But that's a good place to get support and to connect with other spiritually minded people so that you can start figuring out what your path is. And finally, I'd like to say that I had to learn from being a newbie, you know, ooh, wow, you know so much more than me, and you're the expert. I put you on a pedestal. It's hard not to do that, but just trust that everyone is a person, a human, with their own work to do. So if a teacher disappoints you, if it doesn't feel good about the way they interact with you, there are other teachers. And keep seeking, keep following the inclination that reveals itself to you in your heart. Because if you feel called to be a healer, then in my book, you already are. Maybe informally, maybe you're the person that people come to in your friend group or in your family. And there can be a lot of codependency issues around that and other things to heal around that. So you have good boundaries, you don't take things on. People who are empaths can have a hard time. It can be challenging because what are my feelings? What are other people's feelings? Learning how to discern. There's a lot of discernment and practice in this work so that your instrument is finely tuned and honed and not just like willy-nilly all over the place that ends up doing damage to you. Okay. I do run a monthly circle called Called to Be a Healer, and all of my circles offer a rhythm, a time of drumming where you can tune in, and I help people learn how to do this. Tune in and listen for your own guidance. It's very effective. And so that circle happens monthly, and there's other circles I offer as well. And I'm based in Tucson, Arizona, but of course everything now is online. So you can find out more about me personally at quynn.com, QUYNN.com. And then all of my circles and pre-recorded courses and things you can listen on your own and then things live with me, they are all listed at the calendar, live at the calendar at weboflifeanimist.com. And then under offerings, then there's all the options, trainings, some live experiences, and then the pre-recorded workshops and courses. And I'm here to support the process of healers learning their craft in a strong and balanced and protected way, because our world needs more healers. From an animist perspective, what is animism, you ask? It's that we're all a part of the sacred web of life, and we're all made up of the same ingredients, and we all have the potential to be in communication with each other. And there's more realities than just this mundane 3D everyday reality. And through this process I talk about of listening to a drum or trance, we are in strong communication with all of them. And they're excellent teachers for anyone who's doing healing work as well as learning to be a healer. So not all your teachers need to be physical humans, but more about that later. Thank you for listening, and I hope to connect with you soon.